Students, today we will learn about the dihybrid cross. As we already learned about the monohybrid cross, in which the inheritance of one character, that means how the one character inherit from one generation to next generation, we have already studied. In that type of cross, we have seen, suppose a tall plant is crossed with a dwarf plant. Then in this type of cross, only one character, different alleles of one character we have taken, and then we have studied about the inheritance of these two alleles only. That means, suppose this is the gamete for this homozygous tall plant, and this is the gamete for homozygous dwarf plant. Then in F1 generation, this tall plant found because the capital T is present here. Then if we self cross these two, in that condition we have two different types of gametes in each case, and ultimately by Punnett square or by checkerboard method we found that if we write the suppose male gamete here and female gametes here, then we have, so in monohybrid cross we have seen that these two type of gametes, suppose it is a male and it is a female, so male gametes and female gametes. Suppose we have written male gametes here and female gametes here, then we can easily understand which type of genotype will be found here and which type of phenotype will be it. It will be a tall plant, it will be again a tall plant, this is again a tall plant, and this is a dwarf plant. So in this way we can say that tall and dwarf we found in 3:1 ratio, 3:1 ratio, while if we talk about the genotypic ratio, that means capital T, capital T, capital T, small t, and small t, small t. See, capital T 1 only, then capital T small t 2, and small t 1. So this ratio is 1:2:1. So this is genotypic ratio and this is phenotypic ratio. I have just recapitulate this monohybrid cross so that we can easily understand the basic concept of the dihybrid cross. See, for example, we have seen only the inheritance of tall and dwarf plant, that means inheritance of the height. But height is not the alone character which can transfer from one generation to next generation. There are multiple number of characters which inherits together in the further generation, and that is why each plant have some specific height. Suppose if we take the example of pea plant only, then also the pea plant must have some height, it have some specific type of flowers arrangement, axial or terminal, then the seeds may be round or wrinkled, then the colors may be yellow or green, and like that all the character. It means all characters inherit in next generation, and that is why this is not the only character which will inherit. So for that purpose we have to understand the next level, that is dihybrid cross. It means now we will study the inheritance of two characters, two genes together. For example, again I will take the example of tall. This tall plant may have axial flower on that. Why I am taking axial? Because we know as per the Mendelian inheritance that axial flowers, the position of axial flowers is the dominant character, while the terminal flower character is the recessive character. That's why I am just pairing these two dominant character together, and the dwarf and a terminal flower. That means a dwarf plant on which terminal flowers are there. So the genotype will be now capital T, capital T, capital A, and the dwarf plant small t and small a, right? So this is the example where two different genes will inherit together in next generation, and that is why it is called a dihybrid cross. And listen, see, this is one example. Suppose we will take another example. Suppose a plant have round seeds and the color of seeds is yellow. So it is a homozygous. We are assuming that these are the homozygous. That is why capital R, capital Y, crossed with homozygous recessive parent. That means wrinkled and green. The shape is wrinkled, somewhat wrinkles are there, and the color is green. So small r, small y. Now, so it may be in when we will complete the dihybrid cross, at that time I will show you there is a possibility, means there are so many possibilities actually, that this round seeds may coupled with the green color also, and these wrinkle seeds may coupled with the yellow color also. So how they will form? Let us see the further cross so that we can understand these different combinations also. Okay, let us see how the gametes will form. Now this is very important step where most of the students perform the mistake, and because of which the marks deducted into the CBSE exams even. So the formation of gametes, remember one thing, here we are taking two characters. So in each gamete at least one allele of each character must be there. That means one R must be there and one Y must be there. And as we know, these are the homozygous individual. That is why only one type of gamete will form here. And you can see here, whether we know or no, we don't know about the homozygosity of this individual, but you can see that if both R are capital and both Y are capital, then only one possibility is there. And see, only one R we have written already. There is no other type of R, small r is not there, and one Y. So no small y is there. That is why only one type of gamete will form here. Here also only one type of gamete will form. So beta, one more thing you have to remember. Here we are not writing the number of gametes, the counting. We are writing here the type of gamete, how many types of gametes are formed. So we can say that in homozygous individuals only one type of gametes are formed, while in heterozygous individual more than one type of gametes are formed. Same in the monohybrid cross also. Okay, let us assume that fertilization takes place and after that the individual is formed capital R. See, now I have written capital R and small r because we are writing the shape, the round or the shape, whatever the shape is, the gene for shape on the earlier side, and then capital Y, small y. So this is the second step. You have to remember, you will not write like that, capital R, capital Y, capital small r, small y. This is not the way of writing because R and R are corresponding to each other. That is why they must be written together. है ना, ये दोनों को साथ में ही लिखना है. एक कैरेक्टर के दोनों अलील्स को हम हमेशा साथ में रखेंगे, ठीक. और उसमें भी जो डोमिनेंट होगा उसको पहले लिखेंगे और जो रेसेसिव होगा उसको बाद में लिखेंगे. सो व्हाट विल बी इट्स फिनोटाइप? इट फिनोटाइप विल बी राउंड एंड येलो, ठीक. Now the next step again similar to the monohybrid cross, we will perform here the self cross, and for self cross we will write here self cross. And now this is again very important step because gamete formation here it was very simple because only similar type of alleles were there, but here we can say that the 4 different types of alleles are there, and that is why the combinations are more than one. That is why it is called in heterozygous. And now let us see, this is very important step beta. You have to understand how the gametes are formed for a heterozygous dihybrid individual. See, so remember my statement. We have to write the one letter only once, and with that letter, how many possibilities are there for another character? एक बार R लिखेंगे, उसके साथ Y के कितने कॉम्बिनेशन पॉसिबल है, फिर दूसरी बार स्मॉल r लिखेंगे, उसके साथ Y के कितने कॉम्बिनेशन पॉसिबल है. मैं आपको यहाँ पे गैमेट बनाने के 2-3 तरीके बताऊंगी, जिसमें से सुटेबल हो वो करके रफ में करना है, और उसके बाद उसका जो फेयर है वो यहाँ पे लिख लेना. जो भी तरीका आपको सिंपल लगता है वो आप यूज़ करो, लेकिन वो सब रफ में होगा. यहाँ जब हम फाइनल रिजल्ट लिखेंगे वो केवल गैमेट्स लिखेंगे. तो पहला तरीका देखो, R है तो हमने यहाँ पर पहले R लिख लिया, ठीक है. अब एक R के साथ एक Y लिख लिया पहले, ये गैमेट है बेटा, ठीक, इसलिए मैंने इसको एनसर्कल कर दिया. सेकेंड, फिर से मैंने कैपिटल R लिखा और उसके साथ में स्मॉल y लिख दिया, ठीक. तो अब कैपिटल R के साथ के ये दोनों कॉम्बिनेशन खत्म हो गए. अब देखो, स्मॉल r लिखा, उसके साथ कैपिटल Y लिखा, और स्मॉल r लिखा और स्मॉल y लिखा. ये 4 गैमेट्स बन सकते हैं. पॉसिबिलिटीज़ इसकी ये हैं. और कैसे याद रखोगे, अब इसको थोड़ा सा हम रफ में समझ लें. रफ वर्क याद रखो. ये जो काम मैं अभी यहाँ पे कर रही हूँ इसको हम बाद में रब कर देंगे. ये रफ वर्क है. कैसे कर सकते हो, ये है तो ये भी कर सकते हो बेटा. इसको नंबर दे दो 1 2 3 एंड 4. क्या याद रखोगे, 1 3 1 4 2 3 2 4, ठीक है. ये याद रख लो. मतलब 1 3 1 4 2 3 2 4. ये कॉम्बिनेशंस देखो, 1 R 3 Y 1 R 4 स्मॉल y, देन 2 स्मॉल r 3 कैपिटल Y 2 स्मॉल r एंड 4 स्मॉल y. ये भी हो गया. देखो सेम बन गए. एक और तरीका देखो, ठीक है. ये हुआ पहला तरीका. एक और तरीका देखें. हम इसको, ये जो हमने किया था ये क्या था, चेकर बोर्ड. ये फाइनल चेकर बोर्ड हम बनाते हैं, ठीक, एग्जाम में भी. बट यहाँ पे आपको चेकर बोर्ड छोटा सा बना लो, केवल आपके गैमेट्स बनाने के लिए. कैसे, और आर आर एक तरफ लिख लो दोनों, और वाई वाई एक तरफ लिख लो. अब देखो, ये वाला जो बॉक्स बना ये किससे बना, इस वाले रो से और इस वाले कॉलम से, मतलब कैपिटल आर कैपिटल वाई. देन इसको देखें अगर हम, तो ये रो है और ये कॉलम है, कैपिटल आर स्मॉल वाई. अब यहाँ देखो, ये रो है और ये कॉलम है, स्मॉल आर कैपिटल वाई और स्मॉल आर स्मॉल वाई. ये हुआ दूसरा तरीका, ठीक है. तीसरा तरीका जो हम नॉर्मल क्रॉस करते समय करते हैं, थोड़ा दूर दूर लिख लें इनको. इसको कैपिटल आर को पहले कैपिटल वाई के साथ, फिर स्मॉल वाई के साथ, ऐसे ही अब स्मॉल आर को कैपिटल वाई के साथ, और स्मॉल आर को कॉम्बिनेशन करें हम स्मॉल वाई के साथ, ठीक है. इससे भी देखो यही सेम गैमेट्स बन गए. तो बेटा 3 तरीके हैं. जो भी तरीका आपको सिंपल लगता है, याद रखो बस कि एक आर और एक वाई आना है. कॉम्बिनेशंस कितने बन सकते हैं वो आप देखो, ओके. यहाँ सबसे बड़ी मिस्टेक्स होती हैं. अब ज़रा वीडियो को पॉज करो और साथ में आप ज़रा इनके गैमेट्स अपने आप से बना कर देखो, है ना. पॉज करना है आपको, पॉज करके फिर देखना, और फिर उसके आगे हम बढ़ेंगे ताकि तुमको एक प्रैक्टिस हो जाएगी. गैमेट्स बनाओ ऐसे ही जनरल. इसके गैमेट्स क्या बनेंगे, फिर सपोज और कुछ ले लेते हैं, है ना. के नहीं, के का स्मॉल ज़रा गड़बड़ होता है, ओके. डी स्मॉल डी, ई कैपिटल ई स्मॉल ई. अब एक थोड़ा सा चेंज, थोड़ा ट्विस्ट लाते हैं कहानी में, है ना. इन्हीं को ले लेते हैं हम. सपोज कैपिटल आर स्मॉल वाई. इसके कितने गैमेट्स बनेंगे. फिर एक और ले लो, कैपिटल आर स्मॉल वाई. इसके कितने गैमेट्स बनेंगे. फिर एक और एग्जांपल ले लें हम, कैपिटल आर कैपिटल वाई स्मॉल वाई. इसके कितने गैमेट्स बनेंगे. ऐसे अलग अलग एग्जांपल्स लेके देखो. इनके तो 4 गैमेट्स बनेंगे क्योंकि 4 टाइप्स हैं. इनके देखो कितने टाइप्स हैं, 1 और 2 ही है. इसका मतलब सिंगल टाइप का गैमेट बनेगा, केवल R और Y, ठीक है। मोनो, ये तो होमोजाइगस हुआ ना। यहाँ देखो कैपिटल R स्मॉल r और कैपिटल Y स्मॉल y है, इसका मतलब इसके कितने गैमेट्स बनेंगे बेटा, कैपिटल R स्मॉल y और स्मॉल r स्मॉल y, राइट। केवल दो तरह के गैमेट्स बने। यहाँ भी वही कंडीशन होगी, कैपिटल R कैपिटल Y और कैपिटल R स्मॉल y, ठीक। तो ये याद रखना है कि एक R और एक Y को लेना ही है, और ये गैमेट्स बनाना बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट स्टेप है बेटा, आपको आना ही चाहिए ये, और कहीं भी बिल्कुल भी कन्फ्यूजन नहीं होना चाहिए, ठीक। तो अब हम इसको रब करते हैं और इसके आगे का जो है हम पढ़ते हैं कि जब ये दोनों, इसके भी गैमेट्स बन जाएंगे। अच्छा बेटा, कभी कभी एक क्वेश्चन बच्चे पूछते हैं कि मैम आप हमेशा कहते हो कि जो स्मॉल लेटर है उसको बाद में लिखना चाहिए, कैपिटल को थोड़ा हम तवज्जो देकर और पहले लिख लेते हैं हमेशा, है ना। जैसे आपने कहा था कि यहाँ पे स्मॉल टी और कैपिटल टी है, तो स्मॉल टी पहले नहीं लिखते हो आप, कैपिटल पहले लिखते हो। लेकिन बेटा वो इंडिविजुअल की बात है, वो वहाँ हमने फिनोटाइप को एक्सप्रेस किया है, जीनोटाइप को एक्सप्रेस किया है। यहाँ हम गैमेट्स बना रहे हैं। गैमेट्स कभी भी एक्सप्रेस नहीं करते अपने आप को। गैमेट्स क्या होता है, गैमेट्स तो फर्टिलाइजेशन के लिए बनते हैं, फर्टिलाइजेशन के बाद में फिर कैरेक्टर एक्सप्रेस होता है, और ये केवल हम अपने सुविधा के लिए, कन्वेंशन के लिए बनाते हैं, ताकि हमें याद रहे कि हमने जो राउंड, जो सीड शेप का जो कैरेक्टर है उसको फर्स्ट पे रखा है और कलर को हमने दूसरे पे रखा है। अगर मान लो मैं कलर को पहले लिखती, मैं लिखती येलो एंड राउंड सीड्स, तो येलो कलर पहले आ जाता है, तो वाई शब्द हम पहले लिखते हैं, ठीक है। ओके, अब इसके आगे बेटा हमको चाहिए स्पेस, जिससे हम एक बड़ा चेकर बोर्ड बना सकें। तो मैं एक चेकर बोर्ड बनाती हूँ और उसको कहा जाता है पुनेट स्क्वायर। So for making Punnett square, we form a checkerboard or a cross, means a table in which 4 rows are there and 4 columns are there. You have learned in Excel that columns and rows and columns. So 4 rows and 4 columns. Each row and each column will represent a single type of gamete. Suppose male gametes I will write here. And female gamete here. Now we have to understand that this gametes will fuse, and the possibilities, that means which type of individual will form, the different type of possibilities, not the number. Counting is not there. These are the types only. So let us see. This both, the first, this box made by this column and this row, that is why what will form here, capital R, capital Y, capital Y. Then this one, this two, capital R, small capital Y, small y. Then now this one and this one, capital R, small r, capital Y. Again this one and this one, capital R, capital Y, small y. Then this one and this one, capital R, capital R, capital Y, small y, capital R, small y. Now capital R, small y, small y, and capital R, small y. Here capital R, small r, capital Y, capital R, small r, capital Y, small y. See, I am writing always the capital on the first position and then the small one. Then small r, small y, small y, small r, small y, capital Y, small y, capital R, small r, capital Y, small y. This one by combination of these two. Now here by combination of this one and this one, capital R, small y, small y, small r, capital Y, small y, and small r, small y, small y. Now let us see the phenotype. These are the genotypic combinations, genotypic possibilities. Let us think about the phenotypes. How we can say what phenotype will be here? So if capital R is present, then it will be a round. If capital Y is present, it will be a yellow. If capital R is absent, for example in this case, then it will be a wrinkled. If capital Y is absent, then it will be a green. So the combinations, round and yellow. Suppose I am writing here round and yellow star. So 1 star, 2 star, 3 star, 4 round and yellow, 5 round and yellow, 6 round and yellow, 7 round and yellow, 8 round and yellow, and 9 round and yellow. So round and yellow 9. I am writing here star, round and yellow 9. Then now this one, this is a round and green. Suppose I am writing a triangle, triangle 1, then round and green 2 and round and green 3, right? So sorry, triangle, round and green 3. Now this is another one which is actually wrinkled and yellow. So I'll make wrinkled and yellow box. This is also wrinkled and yellow, and this is also wrinkled and yellow. So box, wrinkled and yellow 3. And this is the last one, which is suppose a circle, and what will be the phenotype? Wrinkled and green, right? So it is a wrinkled and green 1. So what is the ratio of F2 generation, phenotypic ratio in F2 generation? It will be 9:3:3:1 for round and yellow, round and green, wrinkled and yellow, and wrinkled and green. This is the phenotypic ratio in F2 generation. You can even find out the genotypic ratio also, but for that you have to make a table, and for that all the round and yellow possibilities you can find out for wrinkled and round and green, wrinkled and yellow, and wrinkled and green. This type of possibilities you can find out. Okay. So, but in as per the NCERT syllabus, there is no need to go up to the genotypic ratio, just to find out the phenotypic ratio. But remember, you can just for a practice only, you can go up to the genotypic ratio, that round and yellow. See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. How you will find out? So you can find out by this method, that suppose 1 is R, R, Y, Y. Only 1 is there. Then these two are capital R, capital R, capital Y, small y. Then capital R, small r, capital Y, and capital R, small r, capital Y, small y. And you can write the numbers also. See, this is 1, this type of only 2. They are also 2, and they are the 4. See, 1, 2, 3 and 4. So you can find out the genotypes also. Here the genotype, then here only 2 types of genotypes are possible: round and green, capital R, small r, capital Y, small y, and capital R. See, no, sorry, this one, this and this, small y, small y, and capital R, small y, So these are the 2, and this is 1. Similarly, small r, capital Y, small y 2, and small r, capital Y, 1. And this is the only one, capital small r, small y. So you can find out the 16 genotypes here. You can see here all the 16 genotypes, right? So this is in very detail, which you need not to write in the exam until unless it is not asked. but generally it is up to only the phenotypic ratio. So on the basis of this dihybrid cross, you can see here that this dihybrid cross was made in between the round and yellow parent crossed with wrinkled and green parent, right? So on the basis of this cross, you can see here that the round and yellow and wrinkled and green, although they are homozygous, and in F2 generation we can see that some non-parental combinations are there. The round color is clubbed with green, round shape is clubbed with green color also, and wrinkled shape clubbed with yellow color also, which is actually non-parental. I told you in the beginning that some non-parental combinations are also possible. This is the dihybrid cross, and on the basis of dihybrid cross, Mendel gives another postulate which now we known as the Mendel's third law of inheritance, that is law of independent assortment. Law of independent assortment. Independent means एक दूसरे से फ्री, स्वतंत्र, and assortment means distribution. So what does this law say? This law says that in a dihybrid cross, all the inheritance of two genes are not dependent on each other. All the alleles assorted or distributed independently in F2 generation, and that is why in phenotype we can see the non-parental combinations also. This is the law of independent assortment, and all about the dihybrid cross. You have to practice for dihybrid cross so that you can opt the 5-number question in the final exam, because in every year one or other 5-mark question asked on the basis of this dihybrid cross, either in homozygous parent or some heterozygous parent, or some examples are given. So do it, practice it,